It's not lost on me that on this same exact night that I said out loud, I have never felt so seen, was also the first time in 18 years of knowing each other, my husband actually saw me for the very first time. Welcome to the Highly Inquisitive Podcast, where we embrace the magic of a messy life and adopt the balance is bullshit mindset. I'm your host, Gabs, and I'm here to help you question everything you thought you knew about juggling it all in 10 minutes or less. As a woman who challenged the status quo from toddlerhood and built a successful life on my own terms despite all of the odds against me, I'm here to help you become curious about rewriting the rules to your own thoughts, societal expectations, and life's curveballs so that you can show up every day in a life built for your passions, career, and well-being. Loving your life doesn't mean life gets easier, but it certainly means life gets more enjoyable and you can stop feeling like it's such a freaking mess in the process. Let's go figure some shit out together. I was watching Netflix and I said out loud, I have never felt so seen. It was after a week where I really just needed to clear my mind. And I'm not traditionally a binge watcher or social scroller, but I do find when I need a good escape from my mind, Netflix can usually handle that for me. And so I was watching My Next Guest with David Letterman, and he had Julia Louis-Dreyfus on, and I was cracking up most of the episode. And then they went fishing together, and I honestly could not stop laughing, but also felt so much relief. Because you could tell the entire time she was extremely uncomfortable trying to fish. She had lots of questions. She wanted reassurance. You could really see that perfectionism in her coming out, where she just wanted to make sure she was doing it right. But at the same time, you saw this woman who straight up genuinely loved her life. So she was having a great time, even though she was still trying to make sure she was doing it right. And it was a really bold reminder for me that when I'm in a good place and my mind is looking at things from a very healthy, self-aware perspective, I can be concerned but still have fun. I can be aware that there are risks but still make decisions to move forward. But when I stop taking care of myself, stop prioritizing myself and my needs and showing up for what makes me feel like me, those concerns, questions, fears, and need for reassurance send me into a complete and utter tailspin. And even though I know this about myself, it doesn't mean that I'm void of experiencing this same feeling to come around again, because new things continue to come around. And the cycle of life means that I have to combat this problem on a regular basis. I used to have to do this on my own, though, because I was afraid of the world foreseeing me. I was afraid of disappointing others and not having all of the answers, or not having the right plan and not being able to have it all together. And so in particular, when my mental health was having a really hard time, I would suffer in silence until I felt like I had all of those things. And so it's not lost on me that on this same exact night that I said out loud, I have never felt so seen, was also the first time in 18 years of knowing each other, my husband actually saw me for the very first time. And this is of no fault of his own, but I mean that in a way of this was the first time that his way of loving me and my way of showing up for myself were able to cross paths. And we started talking. He could see that I was having some struggles that day. And finally, he said these words to me that reminded me the importance of not having to have it all together, but still being able to be genuinely myself. I didn't have to be the problem solver. he said to me, "You don't need a solution, Gabs. You just need a game plan." And those words were so powerful because that is the reality of life. At the end of all of this, life is going to end, but we don't know how or when or why, and we don't have any control over it. The only thing we can control or that we can solve for and have a solution for is what's the game plan that we are going to follow in the middle? What do we want our journey to be along this way? Because when you start living so authentically to your dreams, you feel safe to explore that. You feel safe to try something new in the middle of this messy life, even though you know it may not work out. You don't have to have a solution for everything you're going to do and learn along the way, because all of it is a part of the journey that piece by piece makes up who you are. So if you feel like this life is just passing you by and you're not being seen by anyone or anything around you, take a step back and think about, when was the last time you actually showed the real you? When was the last time you said that you were done with prioritizing everyone and everything over yourself? When was the last time you actually chased a dream you had for you that wasn't tied into someone else's dream or happiness? Because the reality is life is going to keep going, whether you choose to be present in it or not, whether you choose to be joyful and find joy in the small moments or not. Life is going to keep moving. That's why we all relate to this hamster wheel concept so much, because it does just keep spinning. And you get to decide, how seen do you want to be? Because how seen you allow yourself to be is how supported you are. I recently had a conversation with one of my business friends on Instagram about this. Being seen, being authentic, being open, being vulnerable doesn't mean you have to give up your entire life for everyone to see or everyone to have an opinion on. It just means, what level of visibility into your soul do you need to share with the people around you so that you have the love and support that you need? Because I spent 32 years refusing to be seen, including to the person I promised my life to. And the only promise I can give you is things start to turn around when you finally allow yourself to be seen. Because even though I can be the best project manager in the world, I still don't have all the answers. I still don't have all the solutions. But I do know how to be aware enough when I am struggling. And I do know how to speak up for what I need. And I do know how to have freaking fun. Remember, how much you allow yourself to be seen is how much you're allowing yourself to be supported. Go get yourself some support today. Thank you for joining me and connecting with me on this episode of Highly Inquisitive. Who else do you know that needs to make this mindset shift? Will you do them a favor and send this to them? Remember, you don't have to do it all perfectly, just authentically and with a healthy dose of curiosity. Until then, my friends, I'll see you next time.